The water's edge, it can look so peaceful, so inviting. But beneath that calm surface, a primeval danger often lurks. An ancient predator, a perfect killing machine honed by millions of years of evolution. One wrong step, and the water explodes in a terrifying display of raw power. Here we have a man doing what he loves, casting a line into murky waters. But he's not the only one fishing today. Something colossal is watching his every move. The fisherman feels a powerful tug, much stronger than any fish he's ever hooked. He sees it then. The long, armored snout of a massive crocodile, its jaws clamped firmly around his line. In the warm, tropical waters of the world's great rivers, a deceptive tranquility often reigns. For this swimmer, it's a moment of pure bliss, floating weightlessly under the sun, completely at ease and unaware. But the placid surface masks a world of ancient dangers. Below the gentle currents, the water is murky, visibility is near zero, and the riverbed is a landscape of hidden threats. It's an environment where humans are clumsy, vulnerable intruders in a realm ruled by a perfectly adapted apex predator. Hidden amongst the reeds, an ambush predator is waiting. This is the domain of the crocodile, a master of patience and camouflage. It has been motionless for hours, a living fossil conserving energy, its body temperature regulated by the cool water. Its skin, a mosaic of mud and algae, renders it virtually invisible. Only its eyes and nostrils break the surface, sensory periscopes scanning for any sign of prey. It can detect the faintest vibrations in the water, the subtle pressure changes created by a footstep on the bank, or a swimmer's gentle kick. Miles away, another group of humans encounters the same species, but from the perceived safety of a tourist boat. For them, this is the thrill of a lifetime, a chance to get close to a magnificent, fearsome beast. They see a huge crocodile sunning itself, a prehistoric giant seemingly docile and lethargic. This behavior, known as basking, is crucial for the cold-blooded reptile to absorb heat and digest its meals. To the tourists, it's a fantastic photo opportunity, a monster tamed by distance in the thin metal hull of their vessel. They feel secure, protected by the boat, underestimating the animal's explosive potential. But this reptile is not a passive spectacle. With a suddenness that defies its size, it slips into the murky water, disappearing from view. The tourists barely have time to register its absence before the water beside them erupts. In a display of pure primal power, the crocodile lunges vertically upwards, its massive jaws snapping shut with the force of an industrial press, a sound that echoes like a gunshot across the river. This isn't necessarily a hunt, it's a warning. A territorial display reminding all who venture here that this is its kingdom, and that the barrier between spectator and prey is terrifyingly thin. The manicured lawn, the quiet cul-de-sac, these are the symbols of modern safety. But nature doesn't always respect our boundaries. This isn't a scene from a disaster movie, it's a quiet suburban street where a relic from the age of dinosaurs has come calling. This large crocodile, likely displaced by extreme weather or habitat destruction, finds itself in a world it cannot comprehend. It's disoriented, cornered, and dangerously defensive. For the residents watching from behind glass, their familiar street is now a hostile territory patrolled by a powerful predator operating on millions of years of pure reptilian instinct. We are merely guests in a world that has belonged to them for far longer. The backyard pool. It's meant to be a private sanctuary, a place for laughter and escape. But for this family, that sanctuary became a cage, and their private oasis, a terrifying enclosure. They were greeted not by serene blue water but by the unblinking stare of an 8-foot crocodile. To the animal, the pool is simply a cool, deep body of water, a temporary refuge. But this refuge is also a trap. The smooth walls offer no easy escape, and the chlorinated water irritates its sensitive skin, increasing its agitation. The family is now held hostage by a nightmare just feet from their back door. Meanwhile, in the wild heart of Australia's Northern Territory, a different encounter is unfolding. This kayaker paddles through a labyrinth of mangrove forests, the primeval kingdom of the saltwater crocodile, one of the largest and most aggressive reptilian species on the planet. The water is murky, visibility near zero. Every shadow could conceal a massive predator. The kayaker, sitting inches above the waterline in a fragile plastic shell, is a stark, vulnerable silhouette. He is an intruder here. Below him, a salty can hold its breath for over an hour, watching, waiting, and calculating. They are masters of the ambush, intelligent hunters known to stalk their prey for days. Suddenly, the deceptive calm is shattered. With an explosive surge of power, the crocodile lunges, It's not aiming for the paddler but for the kayak itself, a classic territorial display, a violent test of this strange intruder. The impact is staggering. The crocodile's jaw, possessing the strongest bite force in the animal kingdom, clamps down on the bow. The sheer force lifts the front of the boat clean out of the water, throwing the kayaker off balance. In this terrifying moment, the vast gap between man and prehistoric beast is made clear. The boat is compromised, the paddler exposed, and the fight for survival has just begun. The watering hole, a vital paradox in the natural world. Where there is life, there is also, inevitably, death. For these zebras, driven by a desperate thirst under the punishing sun, this oasis is both a salvation and a potential tomb. They can smell the life-giving water, but that scent is mingled with something else, the faint metallic tang of past struggles, a ghost of fear on the wind. Every nerve is on fire. They know this oasis holds hidden danger. Their approach is a ritual of hesitation, a dance of survival. Each step is measured, each glance is a frantic search for the slightest ripple, the shadow that doesn't belong. They are reading a language of terror written on the landscape, a language understood by all who come here to drink. Beneath the placid surface, a master of this domain lies in wait. An ancient consciousness, perfectly still, conserving energy. It is a creature of immense patience, a living statue of mud and scale, its eyes and nostrils the only part of its form to break the surface like periscopes of doom. It has waited for hours, perhaps days, for this exact moment of vulnerability. In a split second, the fragile truce is shattered. The watering hole explodes. The crocodile launches with a power that's hard to comprehend, a biological missile of muscle and fury. It's a testament to fluid dynamics and raw strength, converting stillness into a terrifying velocity. The force of its jaws is legendary, capable of exerting thousands of pounds of pressure per square inch, snapping bone as if it were dry tinder. There is no escape. Once caught, the struggle enters a new, horrific phase. The crocodile employs its most infamous technique, the death roll. By spinning its entire body with ferocious torque, it uses the water's resistance to disorient, drown, and ultimately dismember its prey. It is a brutally efficient method, perfected over millions of years, ensuring that even the largest and strongest animals are rendered helpless. The chaos is as brief as it is total, and then, an eerie silence returns to the water's edge, the surface now stained with the proof of the predator's dominance. But what happens when this ancient predator encounters a threat from a world it cannot possibly understand? Here, a drone is tracking a giant saltwater crocodile. To the reptile below, this is not a piece of technology. The constant high-pitched buzzing is an alien sound, an irritant that violates the sanctity of its territory. It is an unknown presence in its airspace. The crocodile's senses, honed for a life of ambush, are on high alert. Its hearing, sensitive enough to detect the footsteps of prey on the riverbank, is overwhelmed by this mechanical whine. The tiny dark shape flitting above casts a strange moving shadow on the water. A challenge, perhaps? Or a new bizarre form of prey? The crocodile's brain, a marvel of instinctual programming, runs through its ancient database of threats and opportunities, but finds no match. This intrusion is an anomaly, and anomalies in a predator's world are often met with one simple, decisive solution: elimination. Without warning, the crocodile responds with an act of breathtaking athleticism. Its powerful tail, a massive sculling oar, beats against the water with incredible force, propelling its entire 2,000-pound body vertically into the air. It is a gravity-defying spectacle, a demonstration of power that seems to break the laws of physics. For a moment, the prehistoric giant hangs in the air, a living torpedo aimed at the sky. Its jaws, evolved to crush the shells of turtles and the bones of buffalo, snap shut around the drone. The sound is a sickening crunch of metal and plastic, a definitive statement of dominance. This isn't just a hunt, it's a territorial defense against an incomprehensible invader. The crocodile has asserted its authority not just in the water, but in the air above it, proving that its kingdom has a vertical dimension that must be respected. These encounters, whether with prey or with our own technology, are a powerful reminder of what we are dealing with. These are not just animals, they are living fossils, survivors of the extinction event that wiped out the dinosaurs. They are masters of their environment, driven by millions of years of instinct. Their design is nearly perfect, a blueprint for an apex predator that has required little to no modification for eons. Their behavior is not born of malice or cruelty. It is the pure, unfiltered expression of survival. Every lunge, every territorial battle, every defensive snap is a line of code written into their DNA. They are a keystone species, shaping the ecosystems they inhabit. To witness them in the wild is to look back in time, to see a world that is raw, unforgiving, and utterly indifferent to human sentiment. So how do we coexist? The key to survival in their world is not courage but profound respect. We must shed our arrogance and recognize our vulnerability. Always be aware, keep a safe distance, and never ever underestimate them. This means following concrete rules. Never swim in any river, lake, or estuary in their territory unless it is clearly marked as safe. Avoid the water's edge, especially at dawn and dusk when crocodiles are most active. Never prepare food, clean fish, or set up camp within 50 meters of the water, as the scents will draw them in. Keep pets on a leash and far from the bank. These are not mere suggestions, they are commandments for survival. We are visitors in their home, a home they have ruled for millennia. Nature doesn't play by our rules, and it offers no second chances. Our safety depends entirely on our willingness to understand and abide by theirs.